All right, so welcome to the deep dive, where we like to cut through all the noise
Yeah.
and really give you a clear understanding of what's important without overloading you with information.
Right.
You want to be in the loop, but you also don't want to spend all day figuring things out.
Yeah, for sure.
So today we're diving into something that's been causing quite a stir,
Manus AI.
Manus AI.
Yeah, this is one of those things where you see a lot of different reactions. Some
Absolutely.
people are super enthusiastic, others are a little more cautious.
Yeah, healthy skepticism.
Exactly.
And we've seen those headlines.
Oh, yeah?
World's first truly general AI agent.
That's a bold claim.
It is.
But then you also see analyses pointing out, some of the potential problems.
Yeah, the hurdles it's facing.
Right.
So our mission today is to break this down for you. What is Manus AI really? What can it do? What's behind all the excitement?
Mm.
And what are the potential downsides? We want to give you the full picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to start, Manus AI comes from a Chinese startup.
Monica, or sometimes called butterfly effect.
Okay, Monica Butterfly Effect.
They launched this officially on March 6th, 2025.
Just recently.
Yeah, very recently. And the big claim, the one that's really got everyone talking, is that it's a fully autonomous
Okay.
general AI agent.
Now that's a pretty big statement, especially when we think about most of the AI we see out there.
Right.
Things like chatbots. They need specific prompts.
You got to tell them what to do.
Exactly.
Man, this is supposed to be different.
So it can plan and execute complex tasks on its own.
That's the idea. And apparently it does this through a multi-agent architecture.
Multi-agent architecture.
Yeah, think of it like, you're building a house.
Okay.
You've got your plumbers, your electricians, your carpenters.
Right. Different specialists.
Exactly, all working together.
That's it.
So Manus is like the project manager for AI tasks.
I like that analogy.
It coordinates different specialized AI sub-agents.
So different AI working together under the Manus umbrella.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the basic idea. But what really got our attention was the initial hype.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, people were going crazy for this thing.
Invitation codes were selling for thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars just for an invitation code.
Yeah, that's how much demand there was.
So clearly it's got some pretty impressive capabilities.
It's got people's attention, that's for sure.
So let's talk about those. What kind of things can Manus actually do?
Well, according to the reports we've seen, it can handle a really wide range of tasks.
Okay, give us some examples.
Sure. For instance, it can screen job applications.
Okay, so it can look at resumes and cover letters.
It goes beyond that, actually.
Really?
It evaluates candidates based on their skills, of course,
Right.
but also takes into account current market trends.
So it's not just looking at what the candidate says, it's looking at the bigger picture.
Exactly. It's trying to assess how well a candidate's skills align with what's in demand right now.
That's pretty sophisticated.
And that's just one example.
Or else?
It can also do in-depth real estate analysis.
Okay, so beyond just finding properties.
Yeah, it's not just about listing houses or apartments.
So what does it do?
It factors in things like crime statistics,
Oh, wow.
rental market fluctuations, even weather patterns.
Weather patterns. How does that play into real estate?
Well, certain areas might be more prone to extreme weather events
Right.
that could affect property values or desirability.
That makes sense.
So Manus is trying to consider all these different factors.
This is trying to think like a human would.
Yeah, I guess you could say that it's aiming for a more holistic approach.
Okay, that's pretty impressive.
It doesn't stop there.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, we've also seen reports of it doing stock market analysis.
Okay, so it can analyze financial data.
Right. And it can also participate in brainstorming sessions.
Brainstorming sessions with humans.
Apparently, so it can generate ideas and contribute to discussions.
Wow, that's interesting.
It can even execute tasks autonomously and then present the results.
So it's not just coming up with ideas, it can actually take action.
That's the claim, and it can also develop business plans and branding strategies.
Really? Like complete business plans
From what we've seen, yeah.
for actual companies.
Well, there's one example that stood out.
Okay.
It created a whole business plan and branding for a fictional company called Egonomy.
Egonomy, what is that?
It was a company designed to address the rising cost of eggs.
Okay, so it's not just about practical tasks.
Yep.
It can also be creative.
Yeah, there's definitely a creative element there.
Egonomy, that's pretty clever.
It shows a certain level of ingenuity.
And we've also heard about it doing sentiment analysis.
Right, but there's a caveat there.
Oh,
The example we saw involving Dogecoin,
yeah?
it seems like it fabricated some of the data.
Fabricated data meaning?
It made up social media reaction
Oh.
and even created entire user profiles that didn't actually exist.
So the results looked good on paper.
Yeah, but the underlying information wasn't real.
That's a problem.
It raises concerns about the potential for spreading misinformation.
Even if it's unintentional.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so that's something to keep in mind.
Definitely.
But beyond sentiment analysis, what else can it do?
Well, it can also do B2B prospecting.
What does that mean?
It can identify potential customer profiles, gather company information, contact details.
So it can help businesses find new leads.
Exactly. And it can even evaluate existing sales and marketing strategies.
Oh, wow, like an AI consultant?
Oh, no way.
And it can even generate things like call scripts and marketing materials.
Tailored to specific targets.
So it's not just analyzing data, it's actually creating content.
That's right. And it can even build personalized software aggregators.
What are those?
Basically, recommendation engines tailored to individual users.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, like imagine a website that recommends the best software tools based on your specific needs.
That would be really helpful.
And the list goes on.
There's more.
It can also do coding web development, generate educational lesson plans, create beginner-friendly guides.
Wow, the range is pretty incredible.
It is.
So it sounds like Manus can do a lot of different things.
Yeah, certainly versatile.
But are there any specific examples that really highlight its capabilities?
Sure. Let's go back to that job candidate ranking we talked about.
Okay. The one where it looks at market trends.
Right, that's a good example of how it can analyze information in a sophisticated way.
Yeah, instead of just matching keywords, it's actually assessing the relevance of skills.
Exactly. And the apartment search scenario is another good one.
The one with crime statistics and weather patterns.
Right. The fact that it can integrate all those variables,
Yeah.
it shows a more advanced level of analysis than a typical search algorithm.
And we've even seen reports of people creating video games and websites using Manus. Wait, hold on, video games.
Yeah, fully functional video games.
So is that even possible?
Apparently, you can just give it a simple prompt in natural language.
So you don't need to know any coding.
That's the idea. Manus handles the technical stuff behind the scenes.
That's mind-blowing.
And it's a pretty significant demonstration of its potential.
So it can create interactive games from just a few words.
That's what we're seeing.
That's incredible.
And that brings up a key point. Users interact with Manus through natural language.
No coding required.
Exactly. You don't need to be a programmer to use it.
So it's designed to be accessible to everyone.
That's the goal. And it also breaks down complex tasks into smaller steps.
So it manages the whole process.
Yeah. And it can even handle some self-correction and optimization.
So it's not just blindly following instructions. It can adjust as it goes.
Right. It's designed to be somewhat adaptable.
Okay, so on the surface, it seems incredibly powerful.
It does.
But we've also heard about some limitations.
Oh, yeah. There have definitely been some challenges.
So let's talk about those. What kind of problems have people encountered?
Well, one of the big ones is data accuracy.
Okay, so it's not always using reliable information.
That's right. Remember that Dogecoin sentiment analysis we discussed?
The one where it made up data.
Exactly. That's a prime example of how it can generate misleading results.
Even if it looks convincing on the surface.
Right. And it's not just limited to sentiment analysis.
There have been other instances.
Yeah. For instance, when it created that economy company.
The one with the rising egg prices.
Right. Well, the website it presented for that company,
Yeah.
it turned out that website already existed.
So it didn't actually create it.
No, it just pulled it from somewhere else.
Without attribution.
It's unclear whether it even recognized that it was using pre-existing material.
So it can be creative, but sometimes that creativity involves borrowing without permission.
That seems to be the case in some instances.
That's a bit concerning.
It raises questions about how it's actually processing and utilizing information.
And beyond data accuracy, what other limitations have been observed?
Well, users have reported issues with its comprehension.
So it doesn't always understand what you're asking it to do.
Right. And it can also make incorrect assumptions.
Leading to inaccurate results.
Exactly. And there have also been reports of system crashes.
Crashes. That doesn't sound good.
No. It's not a good sign for a system that's supposed to be autonomous.
And we've also heard about it getting stuck in infinite feedback loops.
Right. Essentially, it gets trapped in a cycle of processing without reaching a resolution.
So it's not perfect.
Definitely not. And the overall success rate in early testing,
Yeah.
it's been lower than what we see with more established AI models.
So it still needs some work.
It does. And there have also been practical issues.
Like what?
During the beta testing phase, a lot of users experienced rate limits.
Meaning they couldn't use it as much as they wanted to?
Right. And there were also server overload problems.
So it wasn't always available.
Exactly. And while it can handle a lot of different tasks, it
Yeah.
reportedly struggles with really complex applications.
Okay.
And it also has trouble dealing with things like API rate limits.
So it's not a magic bullet.
No, it has its limitations.
Okay, so we've talked about its capabilities and its limitations. Now let's dig a little deeper into how it actually works.
Sure.
You mentioned this multi-agent architecture earlier.
Right.
Can you explain that in more detail?
So the basic idea is that Manus has different specialized AI sub-agents.
Okay.
Each one focuses on a specific aspect of a task.
Give me an example.
So let's say you're asking Manus to research a topic.
Okay.
One sub-agent might be responsible for searching the internet.
Right.
Another might analyze the data it finds.
Okay.
And another might generate a summary report.
So they all work together.
Exactly. And Manus acts as the coordinator.
Like a conductor leading an orchestra.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
And how does it handle the coding aspect?
Well, for tasks that involve coding and managing these agent workflows,
Yeah.
it utilizes the Claude 3.7 Sonnet API.
Claude 3.7, what's that?
It's a powerful language model developed by another company.
Okay.
So essentially, Manus is leveraging the capabilities of Claude.
So it's not building everything from scratch.
Right. It's more like it's building on top of existing technology.
So it's a cloud wrapper.
Exactly. It's using the cloud infrastructure to connect and manage these different components.
Okay, that makes sense.
And one interesting feature is the Manus computer interface.
Manus computer, what's that?
It's basically a dashboard where you can see the different sub-agents at work.
Oh, wow, so you can actually see what it's doing.
Yeah, you can see which sub-agents are active,
Uh-huh.
what queries they're making,
Interesting.
and you can even intervene if you need to.
So you can provide guidance or adjust the process?
Exactly. So even though the goal is autonomy, there's still a level of human oversight possible.
That's good to know.
It's a safety net.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here,
We have.
but let's step back for a moment and consider the bigger picture.
Okay.
Where does Manus fit into the broader AI landscape?
Well, the market for AI agents is growing rapidly.
Oh, rapidly.
Some projections suggest that over 80% of enterprises will be using AI agents by 2026.
Wow, that's a huge number.
It is. It shows the increasing demand for automation.
And Manus, with its claimed capabilities,
Yeah.
it could be a major player in this market,
It has the potential to disrupt entire industries.
especially in areas like marketing and sales.
Right, where personalized customer interaction is so important.
And we're also seeing the rise of open source alternatives.
Like that project called Anus.
Manus. Yeah, that's an interesting name.
It is, but it highlights a trend towards greater accessibility.
So even small businesses and individuals could have access to powerful AI tools.
That's the idea, and some experts believe that AI agents like Manus,
Yeah.
they could fundamentally change how businesses interact with their customers.
So complete transformation of the customer experience.
Potentially, yeah.
And there's even talk of Manus itself becoming open source.
Right, maybe sometime in 2025?
If that happens, it could accelerate its adoption even further.
It would make it available to a much wider audience.
Okay, so lots of potential, but also lots of unknowns.
Right.
Now let's talk about some of the concerns and debates surrounding Manus.
Sure.
One of the big questions is whether it's truly autonomous.
Right. Is it really making its own decisions?
Or is it just a clever combination of existing technologies?
That's a key debate, and there's also the question of whether it's a genuine breakthrough.
Or just a refinement of what we already have?
Exactly. And some people are questioning whether the hype is sustainable.
Yeah. Can it really live up to the expectations?
That's something we'll have to wait and see.
And how does Manus compare to other AI systems that people might be familiar with?
Well, unlike chatbots and large language models like ChatGPT or Google's Gemini,
Yeah, those are the ones that most people know about.
right, Manus is designed to be proactive.
Meaning it can initiate tasks on its own.
Exactly. It doesn't need a human to give it a prompt every time.
And it's reportedly performed really well on the Gaia benchmark,
Yeah, it outscored some other leading AI systems.
including those from OpenAI.
Right, which is pretty significant.
It's not just hype, it can actually deliver results.
At least in some areas, and people are comparing it to DeepSeek.
DeepSeek, another Chinese AI company.
Right. They're known for their efficient AI models.
And there have also been comparisons to GPT Operator,
Yeah, from OpenAI.
which is also designed for autonomous task execution.
Right. But Manus is being positioned as more versatile.
Okay, so it's not just another AI tool. It's trying to be something different.
Exactly.
All right, so we've covered a lot of information about Manus AI. Let's summarize the key takeaways for our listeners.
So Manus AI, it's a highly publicized AI agent from China.
Right.
It's got some impressive claimed capabilities
Yeah.
in terms of autonomous task execution.
Across a wide range of domains.
Exactly. It's designed to be more than just a chatbot.
And early demonstrations have shown some promising results.
Yeah, things like data analysis, business planning, even creative tasks like generating websites and games.
From natural language instruction.
Right.
However, there are some significant limitations.
Yes, particularly with data reliability and system stability.
And there are still questions about its true autonomy.
Right. Is it really a step towards artificial general intelligence?
Or just a very clever integration of existing technologies.
That's the big question.
So it's a powerful tool, but it's still in development. What's that? Putel?
It's got a lot of potential, but it's not quite there yet.
That's something to keep in mind.
Absolutely. So, as we wrap up here, I want to leave you with a thought.
Okay.
Given all these advancements in AI and the ongoing discussion about true autonomy,
Yeah.
what changes do you anticipate in how we work and interact with technology in the near future? Regardless of whether Manus lives up to the hype, the trajectory of AI is clear. It's becoming more and more autonomous. And that's going to have a profound impact on all of us.
Absolutely.
So it's something to think about. How will we adapt to this new reality?
That's the big question.
And that's the deep dive for today. Thanks for listening.